Hello crafty friends, and thanks for joining me today. Let's see what I can create with the yellow version of the Camellia Japonica set from Altenew Build-A-Flower. Stay tuned. So here's the yellow version of the flower. For the ink colors that I used, I have them in the description down below. So I did use Slippery When Wet from Simon Hurley ink as one of the colors here. So to match it, I used that on the marbled stamp from Stampin' Up. I get a lot of my things secondhand, so this was, I think, $2 at the thrift store. So make sure you keep an eye out for those when you're thrifting. So now I'm going to ink this up really well. Sorry for the bouncing of the camera there. I'm going to put my paper down on it and burnish the back of the paper to get all of that ink transferred. Now you can add a scrap piece of paper here if you want on top there so you don't get ink on your fingers and therefore get ink where you don't want that. Now clean it up real quick. Always good to clean as you go. And now I'll decide where I want to put the flower. I'm using some multimedia in the matte finish from Ranger here. It's a very good glue. Go ahead and put my leaves on. Then I use these cut-off pieces like I did in my previous card. If you didn't watch that, please go ahead and take a look at it for some inspiration. Put these pieces on the edges. I'm a big fan of no waste. At least I try to anyway. Now I'm going to pop up this leaf with some foam strips. Now I have this die cut that I cut out. This is from the Fun Stamper's Journey, I believe, and I cannot find it anywhere, so I apologize if you're looking for this shape. I had bought it on clearance and I can't find it anymore. So I thought that one was a little too big, so I used the one that's nested in. I used Distress Ink Mustard Seed. And I'm just going to swipe this color on here. Now this does take quite a bit of your ink, so if you don't want to have this use up your ink, you can always do some ink blending on it, but you won't get as dark of a color on there if you do. Now to add some texture to this, I'm going to take my water brush, get some water squeezed out, and I'm going to flick some water on here. Then I'm going to take my rag and soak up some of that color that comes up with the water. This does not take off as much ink as if you're using the Distress Oxide ink. That ink is more reactive. And I'm going to figure out which sentiment I want. I choose the Difficult Roads Lead to Beautiful Destinations. This is the Heartfelt Encouragement stamp set from scrapbook.com. I believe it's an exclusive. Now you see I'm rubbing my hand on there because I haven't used this stamp yet before. Just helps to prime the stamp a little bit so every little bit of it gets covered with ink. You see I'm feeling the paper there. it feels a little cool. So what that tells me is that it's still a little damp. So I'm going to take my heat gun and dry that up. Protecting my ink pad there. I don't want it to dry out. Feel it again, it feels room temperature, so it's good and dry. I'm just using that multimedia and the matte finish from Ranger again to put this on my card base. I'm going to use some foam tape to pop this sentiment up a little bit. And if you'll notice, my foam tape has some teeth marks in it. That's because my little Shih Tzu likes to eat rolls of tape. Doesn't actually eat them, he chews on them. He even chews on my husband's electrical tape if he leaves it on the floor, and you know that tastes nasty. But again, with the no waste, I don't like to waste things. This still works just fine. This takes a little bit of time to get the extra pieces of paper off. Still works just as good. The little tool I was showing you has a sticky end on the other side. This is We Are Memory Keepers. Got this on scrapbook.com. Nice handy little tool. Do you guys have any helpers in the craft room that aren't actually helpers? Let me know in the comments down below. That's our card for today. I did end up putting some little embellishments on there. If you like this, if you're inspired by it, please like and subscribe so you can see what I'll come up with next. Thank you so much for watching today and sharing your crafty time with me. Have a great day.